So it's so nasty. Um, the reason why I make these videos is because they want me to subscribe to the ways they force me to think. It's so disturbing, and I'm listening to this trash whispering. And when they start whispering, it's just supposed to sound menacing and scary. Now, horrible things are gonna happen to me. I understand that. And especially because I'm embarrassing them in the sense that they wanted to come up with this like femme fatale facade type of reality where they're this like like this dangerous people, like they are trash and they do horrible things to people, but please understand, I see them for the bottom feeders that they are. I'm a subject like many who's been tormented in this way. They've done that to women and children. They're doing this to women and children. And so when I hear this trash, this coward that just start whispering in these ways and just was like, oh, you're gonna die at this, you're dying. We are at war. That's is how they're sounding. And obviously anybody who can see that can understand, no, they're just trying to create some kind of anxiety and also just try to sound this menacing. In reality, I've seen these people I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jesus, this is the person just whispering to me these horrible things. Look at this, like, Jesus, it would take 2 seconds for something terrible to happen to this person. But the reason why she was trying to use this fear voice, this menacing voice, is because they were doing this thing in my head. They create these thoughts, and then there's something when I remember something I'm embarrassed of. I say something to get away from, like to get, like, a cringy moment. It's just like, and I start saying something that just kind of like to distract me from that. So they try to bring up a moment that was not really actually embarrassing, but try to make me feel that embarrassing, cringing moment. And then made me think of when I was with this woman and having, doing something with this woman. But when they say something sexual, it's always turned into something pedophilic. It's so disgusting. And I was like, oh, that's disgusting. They're just tricking me to force me to then say something that's going to be just regularly, like, they don't have to say specifically this is going to be pedophilic, but because they say it and the dialogues they have me have in my head, when you hear these people talk, when you hear this dialogue, to me they've just been so, I've seen them as these pedophiles, and when they have any interaction that's sexual, it immediately connects to their pedophilia things, and it's disgusting. These people just rewiring my brain to just go into the pedophile ways of thinking. Disgusting. Now, they were making me think of me with a woman at first, then there was a roommate, and I know it's hard to understand what I'm trying to say, but this is the manipulation they force you to have. And then they try to make you think of a cringy moment, and then try to make you think of you and this woman that you were with, and then try to talk about something oral with this person, but then that turns into something pedophilic, and that means involving children, and this is the nasty things they do. And they're like, oh no, you see, that helps too to get away from this cringy moments. Like, no, you're just rewiring my brain in this disgusting ways. This is just too nasty. These people are really trying to create a new way of thinking that is so pedophilic. They want to train and condition my brain this way. These people are pedophiles. I know they try to call themselves everything but being what they do is being pedophiles. No, we're psychos. No, you're pedos. And then they try to sound, oh, they're gonna rape you. They're gonna do this. Like, listen, you guys are nasty. I'd rather get raped every day of my life, like you said, than having to do what you do. And being pedos. Not psychos, pedos. Nasty lowlifes. Cowards. And I was like, say Roy Moore. It's like a rat more. This is the life, and then you easily death is like can enter them in 0.5 seconds. I'm not talking to like people who are, like the top of this top of the hierarchy. I'm talking to people who just lives life at the end of the day, like every day. Really, just nobody impactful. Very accessible, but not me, but maybe so many others. So I'm listening to these people. I was like, I dare, using V2K. You understand? This is just calling for something bad to happen to them. But I'm glad they do this because this humiliation will come back. And I'm here to make all these videos for them to understand that I'm not subscribing to this. I know what you guys do. To all my target individuals, stay strong. So you see how they try to rewire my brain into this disturbing pedophilia ways? That is their assignment. They try to sound fresh doing that. I'm not gonna let them escape. That's why when I look at them and they try to do this whole thing, I'm like, you're just a nasty low-life pedophile at this point. Pedophile. You might have children, but when you involve in, you're a bunch of fucking pedos. I'm sorry for the language. You're trash. And on top of that, you torture children, adding to the pedophilia force thoughts. But torturing children, torture them sexually. To me, I see them for the bottom feeders that they are. And I'm glad that they have to live this humiliating, degrading life. They might be seeing me screaming pain and being tortured, but man, if that's the life they have to live, man, I'd rather get tortured.